By this time next year, we will know who's replacing John Hickenlooper as Colorado's next governor. Right now, the list of people who want the job is long and constantly changing. According to the Colorado Secretary of State's website, 28 different people have already filed paperwork to get their names on the ballot next year. 10 Republicans, 10 Democrats, 1 candidate each from the Green Party, American Constitution, and Unity parties, and 5 unaffiliated candidates. But don't worry, that list will be whittled down soon enough. And one of the names that is technically still on the list is Republican George Brauchler, the DA for the 18th Judicial District, who is joining me here today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
You announced last week that you were switching, no longer running for governor, deciding to run for Cynthia Kaufman's seat because she entered the governor's race. Why the change of heart?
I mean, honestly, it was the timing of that vacancy for the Attorney General spot. This wasn't a decision that I think Cynthia had made 6 months ago, 9 months ago, when almost anybody might have run and put together a very competent, qualified campaign for this giant statewide race. Instead, it took place a week ago yesterday, less than a year before the general election. And when you look at the low fundraising limits that we have in our state, and when you look at how many competitors there are on the Democrat side and the fact that they've amassed over $1 million to take this seat back, the list of folks who could step in at this late date and make this happen was short. And candidly, Ann, I was never running for the title as much as I was for the opportunity to help my home state, the state that I hope my kids want to live in and grow up in. And so this may not be the race that I initially started with, but this is a race where I know I can do great work for the state of Colorado.
But some might say that you're playing the odds here. There's no competition right now for the AG's office. There's a whole lot of competition for the governor's race on the Republican side.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some skeptics that say that. But honestly, if you look at how we were doing in the governor's race, this wasn't a matter of leaving at a time when we were on the ropes. I mean, look, we're the only campaign that was able to put together contributions from all 64 Colorado's counties. Ain't nobody else done that. We won every single straw poll that there ever was while we were in the race. We had the grassroots momentum necessary to take on the guys with all the money and win this thing. But at the time that this Attorney General spot became open, and candidly, I thought once October came and went, we wouldn't see this anymore because of how little time there'd be left to mount a challenge. I felt duty-bound to do this. And honestly, I'm cut out for this. This is something that I'm going to do great work on. I believe that Colorado ought to be a place that's safe for my kids to walk the streets, go to school, your kids to walk the streets and go to school. And from the spot of Attorney General, I can do that.
Does that mean you're not cut out for governor?
No, I think I'm cut out for governor, too. I'm going to ask that both positions be merged after I'm elected. No, I'm kidding. I'm not really going to do that. One of the other reasons I had to get out, though, was I was told only 28 people could run, and I knew that someone named Ann Trujillo or something wanted to run. And I thought, she sounds like a super nice person. I better get out of the way.
But it did get complicated, though, with Cynthia Kaufman and Tom Tancredo getting in the race.
No question.
Was that a sign for you to move out of the race?
No, not so much a sign, because look, had the AG's office not been vacated, you and I might be sitting here talking about how we're going to win the governor's race. Had Cynthia dropped out of the AG's race 6 months ago, you and I'd be sitting here talking about how to win the governor's race, because I'm not just looking to run for the Attorney General spot. Having said that, Tom's entry in the race makes things a little more complicated because we're both coming from the conservative side of the electorate. I think that the fundraising limits have the impact, the desired impact they had by the people that pushed and passed them. But by and large, this was really a decision about the timing of that particular vacancy. I mean, look, had Wayne Williams decided to run, I wouldn't have said, hey, I want to go be Secretary of State. This is a much more unique, different, powerful, and responsible position.
You talked about not making Colorado a California. What's wrong with California, and what does that mean?
What's wrong with California? How long's the segment? No.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Not very much time. How's that?
I'm kidding. My in-laws are in Southern California. My wife is from Southern California, but she's a Coloradan now for more than 20 years, and the way you know that is they can drive in snow. If you can't drive in snow, you're not really a Coloradan. That's just how it is. I think if you look at California and what they have done to their state over the past 30 years, what you see is a state that is teetering on government takeover of almost everything. They have huge economic struggles in different parts of the state. The fiscal disparity that they have between themselves and the states surrounding them, they are on the verge of becoming something far less than I think Colorado has ever wanted to be. And I think if you look at who's running for governor on the Democrat side and who's running for Attorney General, if we elect both of those positions towards the extreme progressives, we're not going to be California. We're going to be the state California wants to be when it grows up, and I don't think that's good for us.
So what can you bring to the AG's office that no one else can?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, other than the fact that I have been the elected district attorney for the most populous jurisdiction in the state of Colorado that has done tremendous things, whether it's from human trafficking to a cold case to prosecuting the biggest local case we've ever had probably in the history of the state of Colorado. There's that. There's also the fact that I think I'm the only person who's ever served in uniform. I'm still an Army colonel in the National Guard. Right. I'm the product of the greatest leadership training organization on the planet Earth. And frankly, I have the right mind for Colorado. I am a Coloradan. I don't know any other home than this. I'm not a rich guy. I don't come from a rich family. I grew up in middle-class Lakewood, walking to church, walking to school. I have worked my way through public education just like most of everybody else in this state. You want someone who thinks like Colorado, believes in Colorado, and will defend Colorado, whether it's from extremists or even Washington, D.C. You're looking at this guy right here.
Do you still have your sights set on the governorship at some point?
No, not at this time. I mean, look, I don't know what comes down the road. When I ran for district attorney, I didn't want to be anything else. I just wanted to be the DA. I don't have plans down the road. But things happen. Things change. Aurora didn't happen until after I was the nominee for district attorney. You can't plan. I'm not the kind of person that can plan for a political future. And I'm not sure that my wife would tolerate such plans.
George Brauchler, thank you so much for your time.
Good luck in your run for governor.
Don't even start that rumor.
No?
We'll be right back.